Hello, everyone, and welcome back or welcome to the Movie Minutemen podcast. My name's Andrew Augustine. With me, as always, is Wesley Spillman. Wesley, how are you doing today? It's late, so I'm
I'm
tired.
I'm tired too. It's gonna be a fun and interesting podcast here
It will
tonight.
be. It will be for sure. Well, for those of you who haven't listened to the last episode, one, what the heck are you doing? It's the
Yeah.
best movie well, no, I can't say that's the best movie because we've given a couple movies like 5 stars each.
Yeah.
But it's one of the better ones we've done. We just finished. Well, the last episode was Captain America: Winter Soldier. This episode is Wesley's own short film or
Yes.
TV miniseries. I
Yeah.
guess you could
Yeah.
call it.
Well, it is a short film, but it's split into 5 parts. So,
So kind of like a Disney Plus MCU TV show where it's one
I
long
guess so.
storyline split into 5 episodes. But
Yeah.
so it's National Treasured, right? Treasured or Treasure?
Yes, it is National
Okay.
Treasured with a D.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
what I
not
wanted to
National
make sure.
Treasure.
Like,
It's not like the National Treasure movies with Nick Cage. So it's
yes,
not like those.
it's not. There's a D at the end, so it's different.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so since neither of us really have, I don't have memories and I don't want to give away my thoughts yet. So I'm going to let you talk about the making of the film and how it came about
Yes.
and kind of like
Yes.
the history of it and how you got everything together. So the floor is
Yeah.
yours, sir. Take it away.
So yeah, I'll first go with the cast and crew. So the crew, basically, it was me and my brother. So I directed it. I wrote it. Completely original. Like, of course, I had other sources, but it was original. My brother produced it. He did the cinematography. He edited it. The music was by, I don't know, it was just sounds and music he got off of the
Old stock music.
I had the stock music, the software he used. The production company, though, I made up a cool name if I have my own production company someday. Spilly Inc. Originals. So, I feel like that's a cool name. I don't know.
We'll have to make you a logo for that.
Yeah, I know. I think that would be pretty cool to have, like, I don't know. It rolls off the tongue, I guess.
No, it does.
The runtime is 52 minutes. The budget was about $50. Box office $0.
So you took a hit. You took a hit.
Yeah, I took a hit. $50. Yeah, but I'll get so the cast. It's an extensive cast. I had a big cast here. Wasn't expecting it, but I wanted to go big for my first one. So we have a ton of characters. We have like 4 main characters: Jack, Angelica, Henry, and Destiny. And then we have a host, Nicholas Barrel. And then we have 4 other contestants throughout the episodes. And then the first episode, we have 8 more. So a total of 16 in the first episode. And then we have some sprinkling in between. So we have like a mailman in the first episode. We have a janitor in the second episode, a few chefs in the third episode, and a food critic. And then we have somebody I know as himself in the 4th episode. And then myself, I played Matthew McConaughey, I played Scooby-Doo, and I played a delivery service man. So yeah, and then my brother played Eli. He played Eeyore. And then as some uncredited people too, I played also a podcast host like myself right now. And then nice. I was a voice also. I did some behind the camera stuff. And then we had a few of the actors play some different things like in the commercials, like we'll see in the movie. But now I will get into the background and then we'll get in the movie. So
yes, let's do it.
Before I start on the process, I need to give some context of some stuff prior to this. So it's been a long tradition for this junior high camp to have an accompanying short film to side along it. The short film would obviously be related to the theme of the camp, which was chosen. Back in the day when I was in junior high and even before, I will not name made them, and I'm pretty sure he started this tradition, producing a total of 8 of them before he went out of that position. His last one was in 2016. He actually was the one who provided us with the camera equipment to make this short film. So thanks to him for that.
Shout out.
Anyways,
you know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. And we might even have maybe him as a guest one day. Who knows? Pretty good movie guy. So yeah. Anyways, we had a dry spell and nothing in 2017, and it was more short form skit videos in 2018 and 2019. Then the pandemic came along, and we didn't have camp in 2020. In 2021, there was a re-enlightening for these camp movies through a younger generation wanting to get these back in the going. And a good friend of mine produced one for that camp that year in 2022. Another good friend, Caleb, who was actually a guest on our Top Gun episode, produced a medieval themed short film in conjunction with the camp. And that finally brings this to me. I had the amazing privilege to write and direct this year. I thought my spring was going to be smooth sailing as I went out of a high school into a nice summer, but there was other plans in store. Unbeknownst to me and my brother were asked to do this short film in late January by the director of the one back in 2021. I dreamed to direct one of these one day, and it would be something like the ones I saw. And I never thought my first work in this kind of field would be this. I started writing at the beginning of February and didn't finish writing until the last day of filming. We started filming April 26th, and let me tell you, it was a bumpy ride. Some days I was optimistic, some days I wanted to quit, and some days I thought we were not going to finish. Some nights I was fine-tuning the script until like 1 a.m. This was taking the majority of my time away from me. But we finished filming on June 21st, just a few days before the camp. My talented brother was able to edit the first 3 episodes as we were at camp showing them. Unfortunately, the camp was cut short, so we finished editing and we showed the last 2 parts last week at a weekly like junior high thing. And without him, we wouldn't have been able to finish the film in the first place, or even film. I came into this hardly knowing how to operate a camera, so he took on the majority of the camera work, as I said earlier. He took everything like a pro. And this was my first time writing a full story to completion. Upon release of the movie, like I said, it was a big hit with both critics and audiences. It had a I don't know percent on Rotten Tomatoes, and it had $0 worldwide in the box office, like I said. So yeah. Yeah, crazy.
Bumpy
crazy
ride.
Crazy story. But just wanted to give some context on the premise of how these movies not movies, but short films have came about through all history, I guess.
I think that's so fun. So I have a question for you. So after this experience, what do you feel like? Because you want to go into film.
Yes.
What area of that now? Like, because you've kind of produced, you've kind of, ran the camera, kind of, wrote, directed. Where are you leaning towards? Like directing or writing? Like, what did you feel?
Yeah, that's the thing. So I really love writing, but as I worked through everything, of course, I will get another opportunity maybe next year to do this. And there'll be changes, of course. And I hope I get more opportunities even before that to do stuff. But I really like writing. That's my favorite thing. But I also like camera work. I don't know much about it, but like I really love different types of shots and stuff, as I've talked about in the podcast before. But I like camera work. But everything just interests me right now. But writing is probably the most, even though it's one of the hardest, I feel like.
Yeah.
Writing is a really cool. Once you accomplish like what I did, once I finished it, I was pretty excited that I was done. So
for sure. Yeah. And like, did you like the shorter scripts, or would you like to movie size? Because I know
movie size. Yeah. So
like a TV show's like usually like 100 page, not 100 pages. Sorry. A page per minute. So like if you're doing a sitcom, it's usually, 30 pages, give or take. And then
like each part of this movie was about 10 pages. The first part was like 13 pages, but the other 4 were 10 pages. So
that checks out, because They're about like 10 minutes each.
Yeah, they're about 10 minutes. Yeah. But as I went along after like episode 3, like I cruised, like, because I had an actual storyline, but like it was, man, there was some days I was just procrastinating, maybe writing like just a very tiny bit. Like I started in February, but I didn't really get it going until like March. So
yeah, it's valid, dude. Valid.
Yeah. So
yeah. So like me watching it, it was like I could definitely, like you saying that now, like can definitely tell when you started, clicking it all together. And it made, because like, well, let's get into it here.
Yeah. So we can get into the plot now, I guess.
Let's jump into it real quick.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
So let's get into 2023's National Treasure.
So part 1 of this fantastic movie opens with a mailman as he walks up to an apartment building. He delivers an interesting letter to room 19. Can't really see it on the screen, but it is room 19. It says it on the door. We see the person who lives there opening the door after the mailman leaves, and he thinks it's a scam, throwing it to the ground. Then suspiciously, comes back for it. Then we get a title card for the camp year, of course. Mm-hmm. And then we cut back to the door closing, and then we get a fabulous office-themed intro.
Yeah, real quick. That was awesome. That was the cars going. You nailed it. It was blessed.
I tried to make it like each shot from the intro. I tried like different points of the place we were, of course, filming at, the church.
Yeah.
Like zooming in to having that point. Like I took the office intro and then like tried to have the shots planned out of like the streets. It was, of course, it's not perfect, but that's one of my favorite parts about the whole project, to be honest. Yeah. We edited that. Like I helped Eli my brother edit that for like 2.5 hours.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah. So
made me chuckle.
The intro includes the 4 main people we'll follow and a host. The end of the intro shows National Treasure instead of The Office. Next, we get a tall man doing a classic TV show introduction, which the TV show is called National Treasured, and it's distributed by Spilly Inc. Originals. And let's pause there because I have a behind the scenes fact on an alternate cold open for the very first scene. So I wanted to film this cold open at a house with a mailman walking up and having like the camera from a distance and so on, but we never got to that. Unfortunately, we filmed it on one of the last days we were filming. Originally, though, the style of the movie was up in question. Was it like going to be a reality TV format, documentary format, or from the perspective of the main character? So I had an alternate opening at the very beginning of when I was first writing, and I still have the script for it, the opening, where we see Jack, our main, have one of those sayings like, "I bet you're wondering how we got here," and he's like in the challenge already, or whatever, in the middle of the first episode, and then we cut to Jack's house, and an Uber comes and takes him to the competition facility. And then Jack is just asking a bunch of questions to the driver who doesn't know anything. Thought that would be a funny scene, but I was like, that would be really hard to film. So I didn't really like do it. Yeah. And from there on though, like I realized like I can't really have it like that because it would just be main character focused. And like, I had to have like more than one person, more than one view, of course. So I had to not improvise, but change it, of course, to this. So yeah.
Nice. I think that would be fun. You should definitely. Do you have it written? You said.
I have it written. Yes.
Yeah, you should definitely. You should definitely film it. Put it on like
Yeah, yeah.
behind the scenes, deleted scene.
I'm gonna make a some DVD, like put it on like DVDs and stuff like that. So we could do it sometime this year, maybe like film an
funny.
alternate opening.
Alternate cold opening for episode 1.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, do you have any thoughts at the first part? Probably not. We already talked about the cold open.
Talked about the Opus cold open, Office cold open, or not the cold open, the intro.
The intro.
Yeah, nothing so far. I do like the character of
Nicholas Barrel.
Yeah, Nicholas Barrel. Yeah.
Yes.
I think he has some funny lines. So
yes. We'll get to that. So the next scene involves getting to know the contestants competing in this year's National Treasured competition. We hear the contestants' names and what they would do if they won the treasure. We see 4 people sit down as our host explains that everyone is from different situations. Destiny, who is from Hawkins, Indiana, and wants the treasure for a better future, no pun intended. We see a bench bum basketball player, Thomas, who's from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and is an archaeologist. Jordan, who is from Canada, and she wants a lot of things. Sadie is a social media manager and wants land in Kentucky. James, an actor who wants to be the most well-known actor. Toby, who competed in a survival challenge just like this. We see some footage of him playing guitar while in his time on the show. He mentions that he still lives with his parents because at the end of the survival camp movie, which that was an actual camp movie from the past 7 years ago, he still lived at home. Grace Harper is a musician and wants a studio. If she got the treasure, Henry is a good guy who wants to win for charity. We see our main character, Jack, who got the invitation letter. He wants to win to pay off his college debt and is determined to win. And finally, we see Angelica, who is from Colorado, wanting to start a fashion design business, and she is determined to win as well as Jack. So let's pause and talk about these character introductions here.
Yeah. For me, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, you talk.
For me, so there are a couple characters that I'm like, I don't know if they were necessary exactly. I think looking back, so like originally I was like, okay, I was trying to keep them all straight. And then going like, once I watched it, I went back and I was like, I feel like if you could have trimmed the cast up a little bit, it would have been a bit easier to fully, because like by the end, you know, Destiny, Jack, Henry, and Angelica, because they're, the ones who last the longest. Spoilers alert. Sorry. Go watch the film. Link was in last episode.
And it'll be in this episode too.
And it will be in this episode too. Yes. So if you want to go check it out, go do that. But I feel like you could have trimmed up the cast and it would have been a bit smoother, a bit easier to fully understand, like fully recognize everyone. Like, because like a lot of them get out, right? Like,
there's 8 of them. So we see 4 walk in and they sit down, but we never hear them talk. So 4 of them, and all 4 of those were like in the first challenge, they get out. Then we get some interviews of those contestants in the first episode, who eventually get out in the first episode. But so
okay, okay.
Grace Harper, Toby, the basketball player.
So everyone who is on the one team of dodgeball, got out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's where I was confused as well, because with that, I can't remember. Maybe you did explain it, but like you didn't explain whoever loses the challenge gets out. So was
like
that said?
Other team loses. Yes, it was said.
Okay, then I just missed it. That's my bad.
Yeah.
But so that makes more sense. Okay. Sorry. But that was the other thing I had about the character introductions. The 4 main ones were really fun. And I did like, I can't remember the names.
The basketball player or
that was funny. That made me laugh. Because I know people like that. But Sadie,
The social media manager?
Lady, yeah.
Okay.
Always on her phone. I know a couple people like that too. I'm like, oh dang, doesn't even try. It's just on their phone.
Yeah.
I try not to be like that. Maybe I am.
Yeah. But I do have some like writing background stuff here on the different characters.
Okay.
So the character of Destiny was originally a girl. We had two people slot in to play her until we found our main guy. We originally had two people who were gonna play it. Well, not two people, but two different people like we're gonna play it. But unfortunately, I couldn't change the name since it was kind of a joke for the movie because the name Destiny. Yep. So yeah. So it was nothing like gayish, I guess.
And we're canceled. No.
So yeah.
No, I have that because in episode 4, when Destiny gets voted off, there's a line that says her and Angelica or something like that, and I was like, wait a second, and I was already confused because the name is just not usually a boy, but it was. So that makes sense. I figured it was something like that. I was like, that's funny.
So the Blasgoa player saying "I'm Michael Jordan" is actually from a Mr. Epic Man skit on YouTube. They created the viral video "How Animals Eat Their Food" video on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So those are just like funny videos my family used to watch and stuff. So
nice
Thomas. The character of Thomas, one of the funniest characters in the movie. I'm definitely having him, the actor. He will be in the next one for sure. I'm having him as a character for the next one because the kids really, the junior hires who I showed it to really liked his character. So
was he Thomas? Was he the
archaeologist? With the kind of accent.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's from Sheboygan. And I had him from Sheboygan because of the animated movie Surf's Up. I watched that movie a few years ago and thought it was beyond hilarious. I don't know why, but I died laughing when I watched that movie. So, and it's actually a real place too. It's a real place in Wisconsin. So yeah.
Sheboygan.
And then so the character of James, I based the character of James off of the Camp movie last year. This is kind of confusing though. The actor played the main character of that movie, and that character's name was James as well. So this character is basically the actor of that character. So in the timeline of things, I guess it's kind of like this movie, it's the actor, but then the last movie, it's him playing as the role in the last movie. So kind of like
so the actor is competing in this competition, which is reality.
Yeah.
But last year he was acting in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. And he kind of he explains like I was in a medieval movie,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Grace Harper, the musician, is the name I kind of want to name a girl if I have a child one day, God willing. So, just little things. And then Henry, Jack, and Angelica are like kind of pirate-like names I had because you got to have some pirate themes toward it.
Yep.
And so the actor of Angelica also changed 2 times before reaching our actor who played the character, of course, and she's pretty good. The person who plays her now in the movie, as you see. So let's get on with more of the movie. So we cut to the host explaining the concept of National Treasure, basically reiterating that anyone can play the game. He welcomes us to the 19th season of National Treasured, going on to explain the contestants' first challenge, which is dodgeball. They split into 2 teams, and whoever wins that will go on to compete in the show. Cutting back to the contestants, we see Team 1 as they meet on deciding which player should be the team captain. It was between Jack and Henry. The majority voted for Henry and then went to the main arena to get ready for the game. Jack has a brief interaction with Henry. Henry says that he would have chosen him to be the team captain. Jack just brushes him off. We cut to a talking head of Jack, kind of like Office, kind of, saying that he was the obvious choice. Jack was himself. Team 2 is meeting together now. There's some awkward silence until the basketball player makes a strong argument for himself being the team captain. and everyone agrees as he takes a basketball and misses a shot. The host reiterates the team captains, even though it is wrong because the team captain was supposed to be the basketball player, and he says Toby, but that was bad writing on my part. Anyways, we see the
We'll skim over that. We'll skim over that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Anyways, we see the contestants say yes, and the host, Nicholas, counts down to play the game. And yeah, we jump cut to a TikTok like commercial where it is a tutorial on how to make a PB&J sandwich, and under it is some awesome gameplay of Subway Surfer. Yeah. There is some build up hype music playing as well. We see the individual bite the sandwich and throw it in the trash. Cutting back to the main event, the challenge starts and Jack hits Toby first. In a rage, Toby walks out and there's silence. We hear a pirate pun from Nicholas and he issues the challenge to go on. And the challenge, Jack gets out near the beginning. The basketball player gets the majority of Team 1 out. We see a glimpse of an interaction between Dusty and Angelica, and Henry wins the challenge for Team 1. Back to some post-game interviews, we see some of the contestants recap about it, including some angst from Angelica talking about Jack. Henry has a more retrospective of the challenge, and finally Jack thinks the competition will be harder than he thought. Fading to black, ending part 1. So yeah.
I liked the ad break. I thought that was really funny. When at first when I came, like I was like, what just happened? Like I thought YouTube was playing an ad. I was like, what in the world?
It's like one of those things you thought like actually
happened. But that was funny. The amount of time it took was kind of uncomfortable. It just kept going. I was like, wow. It was like almost a solid minute of
it was a minute. Yeah.
It was like, holy cow.
The build up got my younger brother actually recommended that song for us.
That's
and
funny.
We died laughing when we put it into the edit. That was actually one of my brother's like first things he edited too. It was hilarious.
It was pretty, who played the was that you playing Subway Surfer?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah.
That was funny.
It was about like 3 minutes. The video was 3 minutes that I played of Subway Surfer, but like
I haven't played that game in forever. I love it.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, the game. I don't know. Like I could have done better with a lot of the shots. I kind of wanted to do a lot more with the game, but we had a lot of people. That was the biggest shooting day we had. Those scenes right there, those 2 team meetings, and then the whole game that took like about 2.5 hours to film. So
yeah,
so
I can imagine.
But I will probably.
What?
Yeah, you can go. Yeah.
No, I thought the game was fun. There were a couple. No, I just like you said there could have been quicker cuts. I guess I'm trying to make it a bit more tense. But no, I thought it was fun. I thought it was good. And the basketball player and highlight of episode 1, favorite character of episode 1 is basketball player.
Yes. Yeah.
Or the mailman. Special shout out to the mailman.
Since I've handled more balls than anyone else. That was the edgiest line that I wrote. That was the edgiest line right there.
I was like, oh man, I can't believe he really went for it. Oh man.
I got it approved. So it was not
by who?
Not gonna say his name here, but
not gonna throw him under the bus. Just shoot me a text so I can.
Yeah. Part 2 opens with our contestant James getting interviewed late at night. He doesn't want to be there and decided to answer the ageless question of why should pineapple be on pizza. The camera pans to a janitor thinking he cleaned the interview room an hour ago. He turns off the light. When the light reappears, the janitor is right before James as he freaks out, cutting to the intro. Nicholas welcomes us back, and we hear that this next challenge is capture the flag, and he names off the teams. Team 1 meets first in a room, deciding on a captain. We officially hear that Thomas is an archaeologist. They decide on Destiny being the captain. Team 2 meets in an open area, and they have some tension between Jack and Angelica, but James volunteers to be team captain. So we'll stop right there.
Yeah. Okay.
The cold open.
Yeah, the cold open. I was like, what the heck is going on? That was was a bit odd.
No, a bit odd, yeah. No, I didn't get a laugh from that when I showed that. So yeah.
I was like, I think I did laugh out loud at that one. I was just like,
it was
so off the walls. What the heck?
My direction was him supposed to scream, but he didn't scream. I didn't say that on the day when we shot it. But I think it would have been more hilarious if he screamed, but he didn't, because I had intentionally the actor, him being in that scene because of that reason. I wanted to hear him scream, not him scream, but like, he has a funny like way of reacting to things, I guess, but yeah, it didn't really turn out the way I wanted to, but life, things happen.
Life goes on.
Yeah. So yeah, we get some more tension between Jack and Angelica here. And we see more of Nick, and we hear that it's capture the flag. Yeah, so explanatory, as I said. Self-explanatory. So James calls for Jack over, and you can tell we filmed these on different days because Jack came over to sit down on the right side, because he was on the left side in the previous scene. So anyways, James has a real talk with Jack. James encourages Jack to talk to Henry and be real with him. James uses an example of Toby about his selfishness to not go down his path. Jack gets mad at James and walks off. Nicholas introduces the challenge, and explains it. Destiny and James are the captains, of course. Little side note, we had a stand-in actor for the character of James, for the character of Jack in this game. As you can see in the movie, the game starts and we see a James as he keeps going for the flag and fails. Ultimately, Team 2 wins with Destiny getting the flag over to Sadie. Nicholas congratulates Team 2, and we hear they have to vote 2 people out, and we'll pause there.
Yeah, the capture the flag was pretty fun. I think I know it's kind of difficult with the sun and everything. If you could have done it outside, it would have been a bit more tense filled, But also
we should have that was my preference. That was my preference to do it outside. Yeah.
You only have so much time before, like the sun goes down, if you're not working with professionals. So it's like,
Yeah.
So I understand, but if you could have done it outside, I feel like it would have been a bit more.
We did that actually in one take too.
Really? One take.
Yeah.
That
was one take. There was a few cuts, of course, in it, but there's 3 or 4 cuts, but that was like one take.
Nice. Yeah.
So my brother was like, we're going to cut this together. We need more than this. And I was like, bro, I want a one take. What do you mean? I want to try this. And it actually worked out pretty well, for the most part. But he without even me telling him to follow people around, but he gradually followed one person around. That's what you do in a one take. You gradually you follow somebody, and then sometimes you go so but yeah. So
I think it's so. Wait, was it here? Let me check my notes.
The James and Jack a conversation too. We get that first real talk.
Yeah, no, I liked that. I had a note about that. I think it was good. I feel like building the tension, obviously, for Jack. I get Jack and James mixed up too often because the J names,
Yeah.
Yeah. So all in all, I think it's pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Keeping the pace. Building
Yeah.
tension. Always good.
Building tension between Jack and
Henry.
Henry. So
Yep.
yeah. So we get the next we get a commercial that ensues, and it's a Life Alert remake with a bunch of falling shots of two of our actors just falling. The contestants vote out Sadie and James, which proved to be the worst. We hear the results in a hearing from Nicholas as they walk out. We hear a voiceover from Angelica, and we see that Angelica has a master plan, leaving us on a cliffhanger as Nicholas closes out the episode for us. So yeah. Life Alert.
Yeah, that was probably the weakest of all the ad breaks that we get. I feel like I think it's funny, but that's just personal preference. I think maybe.
So actually, on the board, as you see at the end of the commercial, that was somebody's phone number. My brother whited it out. That was actually somebody's phone number. I will tell you that after the podcast. But yes, not on live here as we record, but that was actually somebody's phone number.
Dang, you should have just left it.
Yeah,
I think it would have been
I don't know. Yeah, that would have been funny. That would have been funny though. That would have been funny.
It would have been funny, but yeah.
I
was wondering, I was like, why is there just a white circle?
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck?
The one where the actor reaches for the phone and it like the commercial like beeps the sound. It was hilarious because he like reaches and then pulls back and then reaches again. I thought that was hilarious. And then without knowing, like as like we had the big exaggerated fall into the grass, like the voiceover said somebody has like fallen in a park or something.
I've fallen in a park and I can't get up. That was funny. I thought you did that on purpose.
No,
that's funny.
We filmed all of those without like knowing, like like like
yeah.
That's
hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, we see the first voting here. A classic reality TV show voting people out. The
old Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Originally, like I kind of wanted like, I don't know, like it more like focused on like if I had people actually like coming up to like Nicholas, our host, with like a piece of paper or something, putting it in the box, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like something like that. I've seen that before.
Yeah, I think that would have been pretty interesting too. But the whiteboard works. I think the whiteboard is,
yeah.
Okay. Did they actually write on the whiteboard or did you just have?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
My brother wrote.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. I was like, ooh, because some of them look like they're actually writing it, and then the other people are like, yeah, no, that's not. That's not.
Yeah. Yeah. You can notice it sometimes. So
yeah. Yeah, I think actor. I think it was the actor who played Henry. I think he did a really good job at making it look like he was actually writing.
Hey, I think it was Jack. Henry was the actor of Henry was, I don't know, sometimes not really great, but I don't know. I think you're right about Henry. Some of them did better than others, you know. So
and other people just hit the marker completely underneath behind the whiteboard, so you can't tell if they were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ingenious.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, as the third episode opens, we see Thomas and Destiny sitting in the interview room. Destiny compliments Thomas on his archaeology. They question on why they're there, and they don't get answers. Thomas imagines if he was in control. A Scooby-Doo figure walks in and says a Captain Jack Sparrow quote. And the intro plays. The screen shows the split teams for the episode. A screen shows where we see the split teams for the episode, and as the challenge will be boat building. as we go to the team one's meeting, they decide on a team name and captain. Henry and Jack talk, and Henry asks, how has this experience been for you? Henry explains he's free because he's not focused on the temporary things of life and focused on treasuring people. Henry believes in Jack, and Jack says he's in it to win it. Then we see team 2 meet, and Nick do another intro right before the challenge, and the teams have to build a Lego boat. So yeah, we'll stop there for a second. So yeah, that cold open, we were supposed to have our host be in that, so that was kind of improvised. So
The Scooby-Doo was?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's
that
you
was
said that
me.
was you in it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Okay. So what so like that was just like a daydream thing? Is that what it was? Like
I guess so. I like it would have been yeah.
Is that what it was? That's what I thought it was, but also I was like, what are the Scooby-Doo sitting here?
You could say that. You could say that. Yeah, I guess so. It could be like kind of like a genie sort of thing, like we see in episode 4 when actually the host comes in for the cold open. But I wanted they kind of addressed that in episode 4, like, why are you always, Jack says, like, why are you always showing up to these, you know? And like if he was in this one, then that would like pull up to the next cold open, you know?
That would make more sense.
Yeah, make more sense. But you know, but it was just me in a Scooby-Doo costume with a blue short shirt covering my face. So, you know.
It is what it is. It worked. You improvised, man. But I think it's funny because obviously you can tell you film these under because Jack's hair grows, and shrinks, and or not. Well, grows,
he has a fake hair. He actually shaved his head like halfway through filming. So you know,
even I think it was in episode 2 where James and he have the heart-to-heart because in the group meeting before he has no hair.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he sits down and it's
that was one of the last scenes we filmed them two get together. That was the last week we filmed that scene, the heart-to-heart here in episode 3. Of at least Jack and Henry. So here in this episode. So, you know.
Okay.
But yeah.
But
I like this scene a lot with Jack and James because this kind of does a little foreshadowing, like with how it has this experience been for you to the last episode, you know, with the very last conversation between them two.
Yep. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. And then we had a stand-in actually for Henry for this Lego building challenge. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so you never see it. You never see
it. I was
gonna
say you don't see it.
You don't see it. You only see his hands. But we kind of had to improvise. Actually, I didn't even have this written down, but actually, like we were gonna do a whole thing like cardboard. We were gonna make cardboard like boats, you know, like we were gonna do that, test them out at like the lake we have in town, and like do a whole test, like boat test, like in the lake. It was gonna be hilarious. Like maybe me out on a kayak filming and stuff. I don't even know, but but we didn't do that, and that would have been the most probably time consuming thing if we did that. Like
you would have racked up
like,
your budget for sure.
Yeah, that would have taken a whole night. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But then we see the teams making their boats, and as team 2 leaves, Angelica infiltrates their boat. We cut to Nick as he says that he'll judge, and we see a Burger King commercial remake.
Yeah.
We see Nick judge the boats and ultimately vote on team 1, the Flying Dutchman, who wins this challenge. We see the contestants voting again, and it'll be 2 people getting out again. Thomas has a hilarious vote using a board. Hilarious thing. One of the most hilarious things in the movie, actually. I don't know. It was just It was totally improvised. We were like, what if we pull this board into the room and have him vote? It was him, the actor. I think it was him, the actor. The actor said that, like, what if we have him do this? And like, we were like, it totally fits the character. He's like so like nonchalant about things. But anyways, we see Thomas and Jordan unfortunately get eliminated. Jordan and him have an exit interview, and Nick says goodbye, closing out episode 3. So yeah, that was a mistake having Thomas getting eliminated here, like, because that was one of the most favorite characters. After watching it, Thomas was one of those favorite characters out of the movie. Out of the people who've seen it, Thomas was one of the highlights of the movie. So
yeah,
you know, I wish he was more in it more. I made him in it more.
Yeah.
With the whole accent.
Right?
Yeah, you live and learn. So
you should have him come back next year.
yeah, we will. Yeah, like I said, I think I said that earlier.
Not even the actor, just the character. Just have him.
The character, yeah. So I was thinking maybe making it like a murder mystery theme, maybe, and him being like it's his family or something. I don't even know. Like, you know,
just a bunch of weirdos.
Or like some people related to him, long distance cousins. Like he's on a family vacation or a family get together somewhere in, like, I don't know, far off into the, I don't know, New Zealand, I don't know, somewhere, Alaska.
For sure, yeah. So I loved the Burger King commercial. Made me laugh. I was like, man, this just keeps going. Did you find a edited version of that song? Like,
yes,
all together, or did you do that? Okay,
yeah.
Eli, that's really good if you did it yourself.
So there's a trick. Eli got a tip from Caleb,
okay,
who we know. He got a tip for like MP3 like downloads or whatever, getting like extracting like audio, you know,
from YouTube videos.
Yeah, YouTube, or like, you know, just videos in general. And like he was able to get that and overplay that with the footage we have. So like, you know, I wasn't actually, that was the very last thing actually filmed though. Those shots.
The Burger King.
Technically, yeah, those were with people. Yeah. So I
awesome.
wasn't there. I was working. So unfortunately,
do your thing.
yeah.
Yeah. The giant whiteboard was hilarious as well. The joke that Nicholas does, what does a captain blow his nose with? An anchor chief.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny as well. That was there, right?
Yeah, I think there, so. Right? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, yes. Oh wait, and that's the joke. That pun took so long. Man, dude, we improvised that whole scene. Like, we just improvised that.
I definitely could tell.
Yeah.
I knew it was just him riffing. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
And with this little pin, I can see you right there, you know?
Yep. 100%. 100% him.
Yeah. But we were looking at puns for about like an hour, like literally an hour. It was like probably an hour. Like, I don't know. It was so long. Freaking so long.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I wish you could have somehow, and I know you said you didn't fully know where you were going with it until.
Yeah.
But I wish there was more buildup of Angelica being, you know, having this whole, because I know you mentioned it at the end of the last episode.
Yeah,
like
last episode.
Even like right away, just being like
something,
could tell that she was up to no good.
Yeah, like something in this episode. Well, we had her like infiltrate like the boat or whatever, you know. But like she cheated with that, but like, you know, she just should have done something like a little bit more, you know.
Yeah, or even at the beginning of the first episode, like somehow ruin the dodgeball somehow by like, I don't know.
Yeah,
there could have been some way, but
yeah,
I do like that twist. I think it's a good twist. But yeah.
Yeah. And then we go to episode 4, and for the rest of this outline, I'll be going off the top of my head here, but here we have a cold open with a Jack and Bob. And Jack goes through a little thing with like if he wins, or like if he had the ability to win, he would pay off his college debt and stuff like that. And Bob comes in and he's like, yeah, like if I'm not your genie or whatever, I'm not Papa John or whatever. That was all improvised too. So like that was, I don't even know what was that. I don't even know what that
Yeah,
was.
I didn't know either. I was a bit confused as well. I was like, what in the world is going on here?
But the end had one of the best cuts though. What I forgot what he said. He said
That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
when the cookie crumbles, and then snaps his fingers. Great cut right there into the intro. And then we get a little interjection into the episode. Not introduction. We get the theme song, our office theme song. And then we get a Jack and Henry meeting as they are teamed up together here. As there are only 4 contestants remaining now in the competition. If you're keeping track, we weren't even telling you that, but if you're keeping track, there's only 4 contestants remaining. So we know that this challenge is a scavenger hunt, and they're talking about how like Jack's skills could be coming in handy here because he's a waiter for some reason. I don't know how that would be in handy because he's like fast paced with his job, you know. Yeah, and like Jack is like just saying like, let's just follow my plan, and then like Henry conforms and just they'll follow his. Then Destiny and Angelica meet, and man, this was probably the most office themed like scene kind of we filmed. This is not a secret meeting on the board.
Yeah, I have in my notes that the looks to the camera were very nice. I like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, the looks of the
Yep.
And then man, it was so hard also at the same time to film this scene, man. Well, I'll say it after we get to after this. So they meet and actually Angelica, well, Destiny hears about like Angelica's master plan, and Destiny's kind of afraid a little bit, and Angelica tells him like his first part of the plan was framing Jordan and Thomas, and then and then Angelica has like a clue to the challenge. In the challenge, she has a clue for this next challenge for the scavenger hunt. She smacks it down on the table, and then and then our actor for Destiny has like a little pun in there too.
Yes.
Yeah. And we see we see a Angelica getting the clue also in an office. She has a proposition. If we make it together to the final challenge, we can like split the treasure. And like Destiny says, oh, that's kind of rough. But it is a chance, and my destiny hasn't been written yet, didn't. Yeah, because that's his name. And then we go to the challenge, and we get a voiceover of the scavenger hunt, and then we'll just stop there before the challenge, because I want to talk about that scene with Destiny and Angelica. So,
all right,
when we were filming that, man, it was like, it was like 9:30 at night. They were both like delusional. They were like, both of them, like the actors, they were like, it was hilarious. They were like, it was so hot in the room, and like I was sweating so much. It was so bad. And like we had to like film the seeking kelp line, the that line, that pun so many times because the actor just was cracking up every time. It was so bad. But it was hilarious.
That is, I love that one. That made me laugh pretty loud.
And you can even tell when it cuts, like he's kind of like chuckles a little. You can even tell that. But yeah, so we get that. That's one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie too, because like I said, kind of office themed a little bit.
Very much office themed, yeah.
Yeah. the zoom ins through the window. I actually closet. It's a closet. It's a little. It's a. There's a room. There's a room to the side there, and it's a little closet. I made the suggestion of having the camera be there, and I thought it was just kind of cool how that turned out, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, the spy shots through the windows, yeah, are great. Yeah. Very, very much Office. Thought it was pretty good.
We had, I think, 5 different stations. We had 5 different stations for the challenge here in the scavenger hunt.
Do you want to start? But you
yeah,
stopped before you started talking about the next.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of editing for this one.
yeah, there is. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi. I don't even know.
No, you're good. It's not a big deal.
So we're not even releasing this one for a while. So
yeah.
Anyways, so we cut to the challenge. There's like 5 stations, I think. And we see them each going to different stations. At one point, Angelica and Destiny split up near the end because Angelica has the clue for one of them to make it quicker on themselves. And then we see them both the teams meet at an intersection. And then they have kind of a face-off. One of them tackles, I think Henry tackles Jack. No,
it's Jack tackles Destiny, I believe is what it is.
Yes, Jack tackles Destiny, yes. And then Henry and Angelica go off to press the buzzer to end the challenge. And the winner of the challenge was I forgot the team name, but it's a Henry and Jack who win the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So we have that challenge, and and then we go on, and then we get a commercial again. We get a delivery service commercial that runs a little too long. About 30-second clip of me walking through everywhere with a box to a car outside of a facility, and to a car, and putting the box in the car. And then we cut to an old friend of mine. Won't reveal his name, but it's kind of just an inside joke because this person moved away, and he was kind of heavily involved with the kind of ministry, of course. It's just an inside joke, basically. The commercial is an inside joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we cut to the contestants voting again, as always. Nicholas revealing the results, and we see. I really love this post-game interview of Destiny after he exits, and he's like, "I'll return to my town in Indiana and whatever." And oh wait, yeah, I forgot about it. He's like from Hawkins, Stranger Things. But yeah, so he gets eliminated. So there's only 3 left. So yeah, what are your thoughts about the game here and the commercial, I guess?
No, I thought it was good. I think if you
the volume, I know the volume's a kind of iffy here.
Yeah, and I think maybe
the audio.
Maybe have had them go to the same place each time. Like each question is at the same place. I think it would have been a bit smoother. It was a bit confusing.
This was the most difficult thing to film. Literally, you can see some of them have one of the questions when they already had one of them already picked it up, but you can see one of them. It was the most. I thought I had it all planned out. I literally thought it, but then on the night when we were filming, halfway through filming it, then something got mixed up, and then because there was supposed to be one final clue, a gold clue leading both of them to the gold. And then the actual final, they had to run back to the facility, the main arena, which is the white gym. They had to run back to there to win. But we just improvised and just had it down there below where they actually press the button or whatever.
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I was stressing out. I kind of had a panic attack, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
that was,
No,
it was so bad filming that. That was the worst scene to film, to be honest.
dude, I can understand that. The continuity, I would be.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't notice the clues. Like I could, like, if I sat down and watched it again, I'd probably be like, yeah, that one shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But like, excuse me. Whoa. Too much soda. But if you could have, like, if it would have been more linear where like you go to this place and then this place and then this place, I think it would have been probably easier for you, but also easier for like watching purposes.
Yes.
And then
definitely.
also if you could have like once you find like all of these clues, like had Nicholas say, like, once you find all these clues, you can come back and like the first person to hit the buzzer for their team wins or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Giving some context about
Yeah.
like the buzzers and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also
True.
I think it would have been funny if you had like a slow motion, like run to the podium, you know, kind of more comical. And I know you were,
that
would
have been that would have been funny. That would have been really funny. I think a lot of people would have laughed at that. That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Alternate second
ending. In another timeline.
the DVD release.
Yes.
So,
your deleted scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Available wherever you get your movies.
Yeah.
Will there be a Blu-ray with a digital download code?
Oh man, I hope digital down. Man, that would be
if you don't have a digital download with a Blu-ray, I'm not buying it. That's how I get all my movies.
Okay. Same. I've been doing
download.
that.
Yep.
Collecting those Pixar movies with those digital downloads.
Yes.
Yeah. So we close out the episode, and then go on to episode 5. And I really wanted here to like make it where the episode 5 opens with a scene, kind of serious scene, where we see Jack and Henry kind of stressing over in the challenge right away. And we see them in the challenge, and it's kind of like, you're like, what's happening? And I was gonna probably edit this when we do a DVD release, but like it says 24 hours earlier after the fact, but we could like say like 24 hours before, you know?
Yeah.
It's the scene plays, because that makes more sense.
Or 24 hours earlier. No, what would it be?
Yeah, well, it would
24
be
hours
later, or no.
Or like
it's
do
in
that
the challenge,
scene
so...
and then do that scene that have the intro and then do 24 hours earlier and then it goes.
Yes.
That's
true. That is true. Yeah.
But
true. So
that's something I noticed too when watching. I was like, oh, that's But yeah.
Yeah. So like Jack is like, are you ready to do this? Like Henry does that. And like they're both like on a trail in some kind of maze, you know, and they like just start planning. Like we hear that like Angelica has the advantage, and like she's already running to the finish line, and they just go over a plan. Then we like pan back, and then it fades to black. 24 hours earlier, we get the intro, and then we go to a Nicholas introducing us, and then introducing us to the challenge. And it's the final 3 contestants, Angelica, Henry, and Jack, and they will compete in a maze challenge for this final challenge, and whoever wins. Like it's one, the other 2 lose, it's down to the one. And then we cut to probably the most well-produced commercial here. It got the most laughs too. So, you know, So we reenacted. This commercial is a Lincoln commercial, a Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercial. So if you grew up in the 2010s, like watching like maybe like TV, you probably saw a few of these. And like, I don't know, he's kind of well known. He's a well-known actor. But It's just his car commercials are kind of hilarious. Of course, he doesn't do them anymore. He doesn't really do them anymore. But like, it's just hilarious. I thought like just the way he rolls his fingers like a burger. He has like a booger in his hand or whatever. It was just always a joke in my family, like with him like rolling his fingers or whatever. But yeah, that's probably my favorite part of the movie, to be honest. This car commercial.
Gonna be honest. I did not understand this commercial. I've never seen those car commercials. So I was just like, what the fluff is this? Like, I thought it was like a scene from a
He
movie.
did. Everybody was chuckling a little bit, and then like they started progressively like getting laughed when we showed it. It was like hilarious.
Yeah.
Because
I did
like
not understand
the
it.
voiceover, I did the voice, so like I like
Yeah.
mouthed the lines, so it wasn't me talking.
Yeah. I could tell, I could recognize the voice, but I was like, who is that? Like, I knew it wasn't you. I knew it wasn't you. I was like, I know Wesley well enough that I know that's not him. But okay. So Matthew, that it makes sense. But yeah, I did not understand the commercial.
And then we go on and we see the challenge. Then we see the challenge start. We go on and we see the challenge start. And they all go press different buttons. I didn't really know how to do this, so I just had buzzers and all that. Of course, the sound effect kind of gets annoying because they had all the they all press it like 3 different times, because they all had to like be different ways, go different ways. And then we see like a shot of like Angelica pressing a button, and then Jack running up. And then Angelica runs away, and then like Jack presses it, runs after, and then we see the cut of like a Henry pressing that same button and then catching up to Jack. And then they have that little scene that we had at the beginning of the 5th episode. And then we get the climax. I wish that was kind of longer. We couldn't, we had to film all that like in like one day. So, if we had more time, time constraints, like you said. We get the climax here. Angelica trips Henry over, breaking his ankle, or something like that, injuring him. And then we get a flashback. And then Jack slows down. He catches up with Angelica, slows down, and Henry calls for Jack, and then we get a flashback to a little bit earlier. We don't know when. We never specified when in the movie.
Oh, yep.
But honest conversation from Henry to Jack. Henry just uplifting Jack. I have the script here actually. I could go to that, but it's kind of a long thing. Like Jack, Henry goes on for a while. He's like rambling on, not rambling, but it's like actually like life advice, I guess. Like I've heard a saying like that goes like this, like what profits a man if he gains the whole world and doesn't lose his soul? Like treasuring this momentary accomplishment like won't satisfy your soul. This treasure might pay off your debt. It might get you a fancy car, but like it'll still leave you wanting more. Reminding him like of the people he's met, like James connecting with him and reminding him like we've had our differences, but even the people that have impacted you in the personal life, like treasuring these people will make a difference, and like you will make a difference. And like Jack just thanks him for the advice, and like Henry, it says like, if you win, I just want you to remember to treasure others before yourself. And then we cut to back to present day. Jack is bending down, and we hear him mumble like treasure others. And then we see him go back to Henry and pick him up off the ground. And then we get to see Angelica winning the competition. She thanks Santa, and she's there with Nick, and she gets the treasure chest. If we actually had an actual treasure chest, I wanted to get one. I really wanted to get one. Like we actually had one. Well, we didn't have one, but like my family has like this hope chest kind of thing. Like, I don't know, like it's a huge chest thing. And I wish we could have brought it. It would have been like a hassle to get it like in the car and whatever, but like that would have been cool to have. But anyways, so she wins, and then we'll stop there for a second here. So
I thought it was really cool to like, because I was going and I was like, oh, Jack's gonna win it and he's gonna learn how to do that and also that, but then like it ending not the way you would think it did. Like she won, and that was how it ended. But I thought that was really. I was like, wow, like I actually wasn't expecting it, and I was pleasantly surprised. So that was a good twist.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, and also the line, "I'm going into fashion design." Santa.
That's improvised too. That's improvised.
Really?
Too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That was a good line.
Improvised.
That made me laugh.
Yeah. But yeah, I really love that talk. That writing though, I like literally like wrote that like I don't know in a day, like not in a day, but like an hour or something. That last conversation, but I just like how that turned out. I guess just the whole wrapping the whole message up, like treasuring others before yourself, and what like Jack was doing his selfish intent throughout the competition, and then finally, doing it, acting upon it, treasuring Henry, over winning the competition.
Yeah.
So Nicholas closes out the show. He says goodbye, and then we see a title card like 5 years later. Then we see that Angelica, she got into fashion design, but then she went to jail for her misdemeanor and cheating in the show, unfortunately. We get an update on a Destiny, and he took up his professional photography. That's something we didn't even mention at all. He was a professional photographer, so and he took that up, and he's living his life doing that. And then we see that Henry is just doing the press circuit, and he started a charity. You can see me doing a podcast with Henry, I guess. I don't even know, some kind of interview.
That was good. I was like, hey, movie man, let's go.
I was thinking of like if I had time, like having you and me do something. I don't even know, getting you to do something with me. Just
that would have been great.
Yeah. But and then we see that Jack with an afro.
That caught me. I was like, what the heck is he doing?
That was fun. That was just a funny add-in we had. Like, he paid off his college debt. We hear that.
Yep.
And he went into the movie industry. That was not even planned, but we didn't really have an outcome for him. We only knew he was a waiter. So, I just added that in because like that's kind of what I want to do. So it's just a kind of personal anecdote, I guess. Anyways, we get a final interview with Jack talking about his experience on the show. Actually, unfortunately, I kind of tested it out. So I had some AI a little bit in here in this final interview, to be honest, not to be did
you have it write the script?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm talking about I put the situation in like this final scene, like this whole situation, and then I put it into like a chat GPT or whatever. And then there's just like a tiny bit, a little bit of it, like in like the third paragraph in when he says like, if I had a message to you all, it would be this, like, don't let fear hold you back. Life is too short to play it safe. Like, that's like the only like little thing.
Okay.
Like, it's like only most of it's my writing, but I just wanted to test it out, I guess,
Yeah, valid.
Even though I hope never I'm not chat, but AI takes over the writing,
Yeah, AI just takes over Hollywood, and it's just like
yes, yeah.
It becomes too predictable.
But yes, we have a really good message from Jack talking about how he has a brand new life thanks to the encouragement from Henry. So we have that, and then we get a message from he like encourages the audience, and then he asks the question like, are we done? And then we have a line with the producer, which is me, and it says, and then I say, yes, you are wrapped. And then we have the clapper, the classic like film clapper, and then he walks out of frame, and then it fades to black.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I thought it was a really fun ending, catching up with everyone, like, where are they now? I think that's
Yeah, where are
pretty,
they now?
I thought that was pretty funny. But
Classic TV show.
yeah, they did it in the office. It worked.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the movie.
That's the movie.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite scene, I guess?
Favorite scene. I I like the Angelica and Destiny sneaky meeting up.
Meeting. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. And then my least favorite scene. Oh, I'm least favorite scene. Well, what's your favorite scene? What's your favorite scene? You got to do it too.
My favorite scene as of right now, it's the Lincoln commercial remake because I
Okay.
found
Yeah.
that to just be hilarious. I find that just to be hilarious.
Yeah.
Uh,
My
least favorite scene mine is the Lego like challenge.
Lego
Well, no,
montage.
wait. I was gonna say it, I have it written down as the Lego challenge, but I think when we talked about the scavenger hunt, I
Mhm.
think actually that was just a little too long, and you made some valid points, and
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. So I would say the scavenger hunt. To be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna say the beginning where we meet everybody. I feel like that went on a little too long.
Yeah, it is a long scene. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a long scene.
And like there are some places that are like this is a little long, but like you need it to like move forward the story. So I can't say that's my least favorite, but yeah. And then favorite quote.
Yes. Oh man, I didn't have one written down. Probably one of the man. I have the whole script. What am I saying? I know every word.
You have all the words. You wrote everything.
What do you mean? I wrote everything came from my mind. What?
Except a few of the ad libs. You said.
Yeah, and except yeah, well, yeah, some of it was yeah, improvised. About 30% of it, I guess, improvised. And then a little bit of AI in there at the very end.
Yeah, the AA's got you.
I would probably say, man, I would just say the first one of the first jokes, one of the first puns. I think it's the one like about waving goodbye. If it was let me pull up my script here. I thought that one was hilarious. Watching it, like when I recorded that, I was like, that one's not that good. But then like watching it, it was actually kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Let me go to it. Do you have one here?
My favorite, probably either the seaweed one, the I'm addicted to seaweed,
Yeah.
seeking kelp, or the I'm going into fashion design Santa. So
okay, yeah.
those two are pretty funny. And I think if I'm gonna go with the seaweed one. Just because I actually laughed out loud to that one. This fashion design Santa, I kind of went like, oh my gosh, that's funny, but also that's like also out of left field. So
yeah. The pun was, what did the ocean say to the pirate? Nothing. It just waved goodbye.
Yep. A classic pirate pun right there.
Then some crickets. Then we got some critics as the crickets as the thing. And then least favorite character. So
least favorite character. My least favorite character, probably the creepy janitor guy. Like, I don't know. I don't really have like janitor walking around on the Scooby Doo. Also, you painted janitors in a bad light, man. And I was a janitor for 2.5 years.
Oh wait, so yeah, I forgot about that.
I just, man, that's just offensive.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Hey, no, wait. My uncle has been a janitor for absolutely like a long time. Like he's been janitor for like a lot of different places. And like,
is he offended? Is he offended? Is he as offended as I am about it?
I am not going to show this. I am not going to show this to him. I don't think he would. I don't think he would. Take to light this movie. I feel like.
You know what? It's okay. No, I'm just joking about being offended. But probably the janitor guy. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Definitely.
Yeah.
So as a writer, mine was kind of Sadie. I feel I should have gave better lines to the actor. and just wrote that character a little bit well for the first 2 episodes she was in. So
yeah, valid.
Yeah. And then my favorite character is probably just Jack.
Yep,
So.
valid. Yeah. My favorite. I'm actually gonna go with Nicholas, the host. I thought I thought he was funny. He kind of tied the whole thing together, and I thought
he did
a job. And plus, the actor did a great job portraying the host. So
yeah,
shout out to that guy. But
Nicholas Barrel.
I couldn't remember the last name, but I remember his name was Nick. So
yeah. He made that up. He made that last name up. I had it Nicholas. At first, I had it as Bob. At first, very first thing, I had it as Bob.
Yeah.
And then I changed to Nicholas since it's like National Treasure. So like,
so that makes sense. Yep.
So yeah. So final thoughts and star ranking, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So all in all, great debut performance from you, Wesley. Round of applause. But there was some continuity errors, and as some plot holes, and as a impartial podcaster on movies, I'm gonna give it a solid 2.5 out of 5 because I do have Marvel movies ranked around that. So, but a great job. I laughed. I enjoyed it. It was fluid. It followed a plot line for the most part, and so good job, and it was fun. I did enjoy watching it, so it didn't bore me. So that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, are you gonna give yourself a letter grade? Or a star rating?
Yeah. So right now, like, this is like right after me filming it, not right after me filming it, but like a few weeks after like finishing it all up, a week or two, like resting on it, a week since we released it, like on YouTube and have it out there, I guess now. But overall, the storyline, I just wanted the main focus, like that main point of like Jack, as I said, like being selfish and then turning from his way, and like and like helping Henry overall, because like I just wanted that treasuring others to be the main theme there. And of course, treasure was the theme of the camp as well. So we had to like tie that in. So overall, my first debut performance, it was fun time writing, directing, just working with the actors. But my star ranking has to be just mid tier 3 out of 5, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah,
valid. Yeah,
it'll probably go down in the future since I'll probably
as you get better and better. Yeah,
as I get better and better. So yeah.
And you will get better.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to start somewhere, and
everyone's got to start somewhere. Yeah,
for sure. So guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you guys want, leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And you can rate on Spotify as well. Or I don't know if other podcast platforms do rating and reviews, but if they do that, go ahead and do that.
We got a review. I mean, on Apple Podcasts, like at the beginning of June too. I could pull that up. Read that? I could pull that up. So this is from Gucci Cucumber.
Shout out.
June 14th. He says, solid podcast, 5 stars. He rated us 5 stars, guys.
As he should.
Yes. So he says, love this podcast. Great insight from both Wesley and Andrew. I also love how descriptive they are. When they describe the scenes, it feels as if I'm watching the flick they're breaking down. Keep up the good work, gents, and hashtag long live Leonard.
Long live Leonard. Yes, sir.
Let's go, man. We need Leonard. We need a petition we should actually start a petition.
If Leonard does not come back in or Captain America Brave New World, excuse me. That's what it's called now. Yeah. If he's not in that, at least, maybe
we gotta
Betty Ross, because she's in it.
Yeah, she is. So
if they're bringing back Liv Tyler, they gotta bring back Leonard, bro. Like,
yeah.
No excuse.
Yeah. Thanks for the review, Gucci Cucumber. Thank you.
Yes, thank you
for that review.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys want to do that, go ahead and do it. We will read it on the podcast. If you want to email us, you can do that at the Movie Minutemen podcast. And if you want to follow on Instagram and Facebook, you can do that at the Movie Minutemen podcast on both Facebook and Instagram. I highly recommend you do that because that's the only way you're going to know when we are posting a new episode, because we have recorded the last one and this one in advance and are releasing them because, as we've said in the past podcasts, wedding and college and everything, and we don't know when we're going to get back to them, so
probably like September. I don't even know.
Hopefully we can get one in August, but
maybe
that's up in the air. Yeah, Wesley, what do you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Thanks for listening again. It's been a pleasure, and this has been an absolute ride. I can't wait to get into this like next fall season, getting into that nostalgic fall season. Like we started this almost a year ago now. Like,
guys,
it's gonna be crazy.
9 months,
almost a year. I think we started October.
Yep, October 11th, I believe, was our first episode. No, I lied. October 10th. Wow, I was actually really...
And we recorded like 2 days before that, I think, or something like that. I don't even know. Like, so I think
we're coming up on a year. We've got how many episodes now? I think
gonna be 17, I think. That's crazy. We're gonna have like 20 podcasts out by the end of the year, probably.
Which is impressive because there's only 12 months in a year, and we totally missed April and half of May.
Yes. Yeah.
So life happened in April for me. So
Yep.
But it happens. So, and you were busy with this. So we appreciate all the love and support on these episodes. And shout out to everyone who's
shout out to you guys, man. Like
your love and support.
Yeah.
You guys are why we do this. It sounds cliche, but it's true. No, actually we'd be doing this even if we didn't get anyone listening. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to this episode. For Wesley, I'm Andrew. Thank you guys so much for listening. Goodbye.